Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 201 of the Next Gen Basecast. I am Ben. Joining me this week is Mr. Aaron Sullivan. How are we doing?
Up, sir. Well, been a bit ill for the past 2 weeks. Yeah. Still trying to fight it off, actually.
Oh, man.
It's been a bit shit. Don't know what the fuck it is, but it's completely destroyed me for 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
But I'm back now, so.
Good times. Good to have you back, and it's good to see you relatively fit and healthy compared to, as we discussed last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I wasn't feeling great last week either, so we've sort of slipped into a 2 weekly or bi-weekly cycle at the moment, haven't we? But hoping we can get back to weekly relatively soon. And I'm also joined by Mr. Andy Beacon. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm kind of becoming a semi-regular face as well, aren't I?
Yeah, well, I think since changes have happened, I think we're slowly getting back to. No, you're not Bowie. Stop singing. I think we're getting back to that sort
World's
of
worst David Bowie impersonator.
We're getting back to like a kind of a regular schedule now, and hopefully, obviously without Gary this week, he is otherwise engaged. He's earning the dollar. So
he is.
Yeah, we will
at work.
At work.
At work. Yes. He's not gone out doing a robbery or something like that. Just to stipulate that.
Don't know what you're insinuating about Gary there, but yeah. Anyway, it's been a wild few weeks, but
yeah,
let's talk about video games. Aaron,
let's do that.
I'll start with you this week, man. What have you been playing? Have you pulled yourself away from Gran Turismo?
I've literally played nothing. Again, I was in bed for 2 weeks, and then Easter, family shit and girlfriend shit. So I've played like a game of Valorant yesterday, but does that really count? So I've literally played nothing.
Fair enough, man. Well, okay.
That was easy.
That was an easy way to start the podcast. Andy, what about yourself?
I've been weaning myself off the old Elden Ring.
You say weaning yourself off, you're still messaging me saying, I found something really cool, but also really deadly.
I have still been playing Elden Ring, but this past week, I'm pretty much in the end game for Elden Ring now, and it has got to the point where everyone is acknowledging that it is possibly FromSoft's most obnoxiously hard end game. And it is a little bit silly.
You mean
it's
a little bullshit.
Bit silly? I mean, it's not, but it's like, oh, are you a squishy wizard? Oh, that's a shame. It's some really big, heavy weapons. So I'm trying to figure out whether I'm respecking my build at the minute. But I've stepped away, and I've been playing some other games. Surprisingly, there are other games available. I started playing Tales of Arise this week, which is good. It's not quite what I was expecting it to be, but it's good. I think I was going in sort of thinking it was something a bit more akin to like Xenoblade Chronicles, which it kind of is, but it's not got that open world element that Xenoblade has. It's kind of more fixed, almost like the old Monster Hunter games where you've kind of got these sort of fixed areas which are reasonably big-ish to sort of explore and traverse through, but it's a bit more linear than I was expecting it to be, which honestly, after Elden Ring is absolutely fine. I'm quite happy having a linear game that's just going to throw a story at me and make me enjoy sort of watching some stuff for a bit, which is good. What else have I been playing? I should have written this down. I started playing Riders Republic as well.
Which is an
interesting one. We've got that on Stadia to take a look at, and we are going to be having a look at that for a video coming out next week. It's okay. It's kind of like Steep. It's like the spiritual successor to Steep in a way. It's sort of extreme sports, big open map. It's quite good fun. It takes a long time to get past the aggressive tutorialization at the beginning.
Right.
I'm interested to see what Jonathan thinks of it, because it's a little bit rad, for want of a better word. Some of the dialogue's a little bit on the ripe side,
Well, he got upset that he had to say the word gnarly during his Ollie World review?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he doesn't like words like gnarly, he may struggle a tiny bit with this, but we'll see we'll see when we do the video for that tomorrow. I'd be interested to see what you think of the performance as well, because we're reviewing it on. Well, we're looking at it on Stadia,
Right.
and it falls into the same bracket that I find a lot of the other Ubisoft Stadia titles. I've played some really good games on Stadia. We did a review of Sekiro, the port of Sekiro for Stadia the other year, and that was one of the best versions of Sekiro I've played. For saying it's running on Stadia, it was a solid 60 FPS. It did 4K HDR. It was a lovely looking game. But the Ubisoft titles that I've been playing on Stadia seem to really struggle both visually and with a decent frame rate. This seems to be running at a capped 30, which, for saying it's running on supposedly strong hardware in the cloud, I don't feel it should be running at 30.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
But I've found that with the Far Cry titles that I've played on Stadia as well, that they seem to be running below what I would expect them to be, given the hardware that Google have touted for that platform. So I don't know what Ubisoft are doing with their titles on Stadia, but they do seem to be not wonderfully performant. But Riders Republic is a fun little game. I think it's been on sale a few times recently. So, if you want sort of a decent open world extreme sports title, it's worth giving a look to. And there'll be more videos on this channel very, very soon.
Yeah, it's one of those that I keep looking at and thinking, do I pick it up? Because, like, I mean, anyone that will listen to me for more than 5 minutes knows that the thing that I want most from EA of all people is a new SSX and a new Titanfall. But we're not going to discuss that because I'll just get sad. But like, I just want like a new SSX, and I was kind of thinking that Shredders might be the sort of indie SSX, but it wasn't quite that.
I don't think Riders Republic will scratch that SSX itch. It's more akin to something like, not necessarily Shredders, but it does. It's not got that over the top styling that SSX has, which I think is what you get from that. SSX is quite unique in that.
Yeah.
It's not a snowboarding sim. It's a snowboarding sim that's on some kind of crazy hallucinogens.
It's fair enough.
And I would love a new SSX. This ain't it, but it's good fun.
Cool.
Have I been playing anything else? What have I been playing? Played a bit of Gang Beasts with my kids the other night, which is always good for a laugh.
No, it sounds
it for me.
Sounds about it. I mean, you say about Tales, Aaron. Am I right in thinking you're a bit of a Tales man?
I do love a bit of Tales. I've not played Arise though.
Okay. Is it one that's on the list for eventual pickup?
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. But when I get to it, who fucking knows?
I picked it up off Asim's recommendation. I've not played a Tales title, but he sold it to me as being, real-time combat, not turn-based like I was expecting it to be. And I'm pleasantly surprised. I was really, really impressed with it. It's got a solid combat engine, and I'm quite pleased that it's a nice linear story that I can just kick back and enjoy rather than having to scrabble around horrible dank dungeons for hours on end.
And getting stomped.
I love Elden Ring, but goodness me, there is only so much of that game you can take.
It's an abusive relationship, isn't it?
It's a very abusive relationship.
But yeah, I mean, I've been dipping back into Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Got most of the way through the new trilogy now, so I've got 8 of the 9 films completed, and that's just huge. That game is so full of stuff. It's ridiculous. Like, I wasn't expecting anything like what we got with that game. I mean, I think I said this on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I was just half expecting it to be like the original Lego Star Wars games with the new films like tacked on in the same way, but they've basically turned it into a completely new game, and it's absolutely massive. So yeah, really enjoying that. I didn't think I would as much as I have, but solid, definite recommendation from me on that one. And I've not really played too much else. I put pretty much everything down last week and did some other things. And built my little Lego DeLorean that's up there, which was
I see it. Yeah,
very nice, very very nice set. But I'd sort of over the weekend started picking a few things back up. Played. I realised I'd not finished Psychonauts 2, so I went back and got that finished up. It's a.
What did you think to it in the end?
I really like it, but I'm.
Overstays its welcome a bit in a couple of levels, doesn't
I
it?
think it does, and I think the reason for that is that it sticks so rigidly to the go to this area, do this thing 3 times, and then move on to the next area. You don't get much. I mean, there's a lot of variety in the levels, but it always seems to be you do this, and then you have to do this thing, and you have to do it 3 times, and then you move on. And I think possibly, stuff like that outstays its welcome a little bit, particularly when you've got like massive levels that like sprawl out in front of you, and then you have to run and get something at the very end, and then come back, and then go and do the same thing again in a slightly different area and things like that. But no, I really enjoyed it. It's got there's a lot to say about the about some of like the enemies and stuff like that. I think there's the way that they push the sort of the enemies as like poor mental health aspects. I think that's quite clever in the way that they sort of combat that. Like, if you've got a bad mood, you've got to find the cause of it and remove the cause and things like that. I think that's a really cool idea. But yeah, on the whole, I can't find too many faults with it outside of, like I said, that sort of kind of repetitive motion of just doing the same thing, or doing different things but the same way, sort of over and over again. And I started playing last night Chinatown Detective Agency, which is currently on Game Pass. It's a point and click adventure, very, very LucasArtsy in its art style. It's kind of pixel art with like a menu along the bottom, and then on the left hand side you've got a mobile phone that you can access like phone calls from somebody that's calling you saying, "Oh, I've got a job for you." And like the thing that I thought was really cool about it is that it's not just reliant on everything that's in the game. So one of the first puzzle in the game, it kind of introduces you to this mechanic. You have to basically it takes you to a library, and then the computer in the library, like, you've got a quote from a book, and it says, right, okay, what's this? Where's this quote from? And unless you know it, you're not going to be able to get past that bit. So it's like you actually have.
So you have to do a bit of detecting yourself.
Yeah, so you have to, like, from that you then go, right, okay, well, you Google the quote, and then it gives you the name of the author. So it's okay, cool. So then you put the name of the author into the computer, and it says, this is the book you need, and kind of goes from there. I mean, I've got past the first mission on it. I think we're going to do a let's look out of that as well. So we'll pick that up when we get to that point. But I quite like it. I like the idea of being able to kind of get a clue in a game and then having to go and find the answer, and then come back to it and go, okay, right, this is now the answer, because obviously everybody's going to have access to Google. So I quite like that.
My frequency is on the disk case.
Yes, yeah, stuff like that sort of little bit of a throwback to Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Except sort of slightly updated for the internet age. But no, very cool game. I quite like it. And yeah, just sort of in a bit of downtime, playing a bit more WWE 2K22, which is the best wrestling game that there's been in a very long time. Played some more of the showcase mode, which is the Rey Mysterio story, and Andy looks thrilled with that prospect.
Enjoyed the bit that we played multiplayer.
It's a fun
beer and pizza with your mates, smash the buttons on the controller game, but it's not one that I'd go out of my way to play.
No, I wouldn't expect anything else. But yeah, so that's basically what we've been playing. I don't think there's been anything else. I did dip back into Lego The Creator's Journey, I think it is.
Oh, is that the little puzzle game?
Yeah, so it's like the puzzle game, and I got it on PC because I've got a fancy graphics card, and it was like, right, how does this look at 4K?
Oh yeah, it does RTX, doesn't it?
Yeah, 4K with all the ray tracing, and it's it looks incredible. Like there's no two ways about it.
Does it look like actual Legos?
Yeah, it genuinely does. But they've added a like a creator mode, so now you get like a little plate essentially, and then you get bricks that you can then just build your own things up. So building your own little contraptions on the TV has been quite satisfying. When I've not been able to afford to pick any more Lego sets up, which is very sad. Although
you're not allowed to publicly talk about it in case Mrs. Ben is watching the podcast.
No, she knows. She's got rules. I've got rules. She's just not allowed to tell me that we're going to a garden centre on the way to a football match and then actually find out it's the premier rose grower in the country and spend an obscene amount of money on plants. But let's not talk about that.
Rosegate.
Yes, indeed. But I did find out that Lego are apparently releasing a transforming Optimus Prime set in June. So
don't tell me that.
I'm gonna have a lot of
don't tell me that
out of my bank account in June.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on to the news? Because I think that's probably as good a spot as any. There's a new Sonic game that's coming out. There is a Sonic compilation, which is 1, 2, and 3, and Knuckles. So technically,
it's 1, 2, and 3. It's 1, 2 CD.
Is it CD?
CD. CD's in it. Yeah, it's 4 games. 1 CD, 2, and 3 in Knuckles. So they're not doing Knuckles separately. It's combined with 3.
No, they are. The press release that I got said that it's. I missed CD, but yeah, Sonic
3.
And
then there's Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, it's kind of the whole. It's basically like you've got the cartridges, so you can stick. Presumably, you can get Sonic and Knuckles, play through that, and then go Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic 2 and Knuckles.
Oh.
And I think
I misread it earlier. Then
I think there was something about if you put Sonic. If I remember rightly, you could put Sonic 1 in the Knuckles cart, and it would play, but it was very, very broken. If I remember rightly. But anyway,
you could create that tower where you had like say this CD 30. What was it? 32X
with a Game Genie, Sonic and Knuckles, and then crazy shit. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting compilation.
It's a roller coaster, this one, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, but I think after we did the Let's Look At of the Switch version of Sonic 2, I hope that these run
we
very
did a
well.
retro, that wasn't a particularly performant version, was it, on the Switch?
No, there were some awful moments of framiness. Aaron, are you a Sonic man, or were you a Nintendo kid? Or
I was both, to be fair.
Okay,
I'm sure that's a big surprise to you. This just kind of looks like a cash grab, though. Like Sega seem to be on this free-to-play thing at the moment, which I guess they think it's gonna get them heaps of money or whatever. But I don't see the point of it. At least if you have a PC, you can get literally every one of these games for like $3.99. They run reasonably well, unless you really want the widescreen, the new updated version of it, basically, which is basically just it in widescreen, from what I can tell. I'm not sure why you want it, unless you really want to pay for animations and music.
It's a weird one, isn't it, this?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm a bit of a sucker for old school Sonic stuff, so I will probably end up picking this up because I have a problem. Please help me. But like, I don't know, the widescreen version seems a bit strange because you remember some of the boss fights and like the platforms that you had to sit on or stand on were at the very edge of the screen. So I think there was a very brief screenshot or a brief clip where you saw the platforms. So like they were in the middle of the screen, and then Robotnik was still sort of going up and down in the same area. So it doesn't change the width of that. Like it doesn't. I don't know what the point of that is, other than for it to fill the screen. But
I must admit, when I saw the press release that said remastered, and saw the animation at the start, I was like, "Oh my god, they totally reanimated everything in like a fresh, clean style." It's now we've made the resolution a bit wider, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, if they made the game in the animation style that you see those animations in, I'd be a bit disappointed. They look like Flash animations. It doesn't look like they put much effort into those animations. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably a fair comment. But like, I think I saw
the standard edition of this game, isn't there? So let's talk about the editions, shall we?
Yeah, this is the thing. I think I saw a quote where somebody said, "I think this is the quickest that that Sega have fucked it on a level of Sonic that this is the quickest it's ever done it." Because basically they announced the game was coming out, and then they said, "Right, here's the editions." You think, "Oh, cool!" Like it's a digital only release, so are they maybe going to do like a limited run of the like a physical edition or whatever? No, what they're doing is I believe it's 40 quid or $40. So here we go, the standard edition of the game. So standard edition of the game is $32.99, which gets you the games, and that's it. However, you can get the deluxe edition, which will give you, let me just enlarge this image so I can get it right. The digital deluxe edition gets you the base game.
Can you throw this in over the edit? Because I don't actually think there's a way to describe this that doesn't sound like you've come face to face with Cthulhu and actually gone insane.
Yeah, you get a starter dash pack with the deluxe edition for free, but it's also free DLC anyway. So why are you pre-ordering to get this?
That's a very fair point.
And then there's two other packs which break down the stuff that you get with the starter dash pack and the digital deluxe edition, but they're coming soon.
This just, when you need a matrix of some description to explain what you're getting in a compilation of Sonic 1, 2, 3 CD and Knuckles, you've fucked it, lads. I'm sorry, but like, so I'll put the overlay up now, but you can see you've got the standard edition gets you the main game, and as has just been pointed out, you get the Start Dash Pack as free DLC, which says included with pre-order of standard or digital deluxe. So you get 100 bonus coins, you get a mirror mode unlocked, and you get a letterbox background. So presumably that's when it's in 4x3, you get on the side, kind of like what they did on the Nintendo Mini. With that,
basically the original version of the game.
Yeah, so
have got any Ferrero Rocher kicking around here anywhere?
The original version of the game with like the bits on the side, like, with some graphics and stuff. Then you get the Premium Fun Pack, which gets you hard versions of the missions, letterbox background, which is also included in this free Start Dash Pack. So why is it on the? I don't know. You also get character animations in the main menu.
Do you remember the early days of DVDs where animated menus were listed as a bonus feature?
That always did my head, and it was like interactive menus. Well, it's not fucking any good if it's not interactive, is it? Jesus Christ. Anyway, you also get camera controls over the main menu islands in the Premium Fun Pack. You get character animations during music islands. And then additionally, there is the classic music pack, which gets you additional music tracks from the Mega Drive titles. But if you pre-order the Digital Deluxe Edition, you get everything. Now, the Digital Deluxe Edition, I believe, has been confirmed to be £37, so £36.98. So
there's 3 things omitted from the digital deluxe version, by the way, which is so weird. Like, so you don't, so you get the most. I'm assuming it's the most expensive.
Yeah.
So you don't get the. I'm assuming it's their currency, the 100 bonus coins. I mean, I'm assuming that's what you're using to buy.
That's the thing, because they're still included because they're in that Start Dash Pack thing, which you get free when you get the.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, gotcha.
I don't get it. Why not just get rid of that Dash Pack thing and then put that in both columns?
Because they want you to think you're getting something. As I said, for some reason, Sega are on this free-to-play transaction thing. I think they tested it with Virtua Fighter.
Yes,
Showdown.
yeah.
I think it was for PlayStation Plus. They're doing it with this, and now there's two other games that we'll talk about later, I guess, which are also. So I think this is the thing. I think this is their okay. How do we put it to shareholders? How do we make money? Without making new stuff.
It's got to be for the shareholders to say, here's all the different versions that we're nickel and diming people for.
But like, just I mean, it's not that hard, is it? Surely, like this is Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. You just put the games out,
and
that's
sell.
it. Like they'll sell. Like
the 100 bonus coins included with that dash pack worries me.
Yeah,
that coins.
Yeah.
What are we using coins for in this game, Sega? How else are we going to get the coins, Sega?
But like the thing is,
how much real money are
so the classic music pack says that it contains 73 tracks from Sonic Spinball, Chaotix, and Sonic 3D Blast. Right? Chaotix isn't even in the in this collection.
Neither Spinball or 3D Blast.
Yeah. So they're including 73 tracks from 3 games that aren't in this collection.
I bet they're playing in jukebox mode.
I think maybe those games will probably get added as DLC.
For the DLC.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you'll be able to purchase them with your coins. Who knows?
At least the controllers aren't furry.
Oh, God. Forgotten about that. Yeah, I mean, as I say, it's not that hard. You just release Sonic games and people buy them. Like, you don't need to do all of this shit. But I think I saw somebody talking about it earlier, and they said, like, if you're going to put a digital deluxe edition out for 37 quid, and then the standard edition's 33 quid, why not just, I don't know, make the game 37 quid and include everything in it?
Yep.
Like that's I don't understand the reasoning behind this. I mean, obviously, you know, it's to kind of get people to be upsold on the game and say, oh, well, if I get that version, it's only 4 quid more and I'll get this. It's like, just put out a version of the game and like people will buy it. It's Sonic. People are.
What you just said though makes me think of Spinal Tap though. You know, why not make that version the version that you release?
Sonic goes up to 11.
Why not make 10 the loudest?
Sonic goes up to 11. Oh dear.
Looking at the shareholders going, but it goes up to 11.
This camera controls over the main menu being in the premium fun pack. That's kind of hilarious.
I mean,
there's some sales there. Some sales.
Like, who would ask for that? Like, oh, I would probably consider buying this game, but it doesn't have camera controls over the main menu islands.
I told you, this is very much a cash grab. They're trying to find reasons to sell you things. They don't actually have any additional content to it. Yeah.
Why can't they just say Sonic Origins Classic Game Collection coming soon? Enjoy, guys.
Yeah.
Why are they going to do this?
I would probably still buy this if they just came out and said, right, okay, new Sonic Collection, 4 classic games, 37 quid. Okay, fine. But now I'm almost kind of the opposite of the sort of product stack argument, because I'm looking at it going, well, I'm not going to buy it for 37 quid because just out of principle, because it's ridiculous. I'll probably buy the normal version. Like, they've lost 5 quid from me, but they're probably going to buy, get more money from other people. But
pricing as well, it's only just higher. So you look at it and go, well, it's only the price of a coconut latte, isn't it? So, I might as well go the extra mile and get my
how do we know that Andy's middle class
over the main menu islands?
How do we
love a coconut latte?
So how do we know Andy's middle class? Because he's just referenced coconut lattes. Yeah, I mean, it's a ridiculous thing to kind of add on to everything that's going on with the game. It's just give me the game. I don't need the other shit. Anyway, let's move on because I'm getting angry. I'm getting angry about Sonic the fucking Hedgehog, and I'm 36 years old, and that's not something that should be happening. So exciting news now, because Amy Hennig, who is now, is she freelance or is she? Has she got her own studios? I think it's. Oh yeah, so yeah, so Skydance is a yes. Skydance New Media is her studio. We knew that she was already kind of working on a Marvel game for Disney. And it's been announced now that she is, or the studio is working on a new Star Wars game. And Amy is at the head of it. So, I think that kind of gives some justice, I guess, from when her previous project got cancelled, which I think was codenamed Ragtag, if I remember rightly. Yeah. Which was supposed to be like Uncharted in space. So I wonder whether this is going to be a good one. I mean, Aaron, are you? Does this pique your interest, or is there too much Star Wars?
I'll wait to see what happens. The problem with Star Wars right now is that it's kind of been taken through the ringer a bit too much, and so you don't get to just put Star Wars on things and get me to get excited anymore. That's not how that works. Yep. You have to actually show me something good. If it's good, great. We all love Star Wars. I think we all love Star Wars here anyway. If not, then there's a lot of shit Star Wars things out there.
Yeah,
it's what we expect. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not gonna get excited just because Amy's a part of it. It's great, but let's see what you come with.
No, that's fair. I think when you have top talent working on a game, like I think I'd probably be excited. I mean, I was excited for the fact that she's working on a Marvel game, like just because it's a new game from Amy Hennig. I think this is an exciting thing as well. But like you say, kind of slapping Star Wars on everything. It's not quite got to the same point as like the ridiculous merch that they put out, because I think I saw some Star Wars branded oranges around the time of like Rise of Skywalker coming out. It was like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, come on. There's always ridiculous merch for stuff. They'll always try and slap a name on something.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fruit. Like, it's not even space fruit. It's just fucking fruit.
Space fruit. Fruit. Are these oranges from space? Then they have no place with the Star Wars license upon them.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of excited, but like you say, I think I'm almost probably a little bit more excited about the fact that this isn't going to be an EA joint. Because let's be honest,
Fallen Order was good though.
EA have kind of yeah, but that's because it's from Respawn, and Respawn made Titanfall, so there we go.
True.
How many times can Ben mention Titanfall in one podcast?
If you say it enough times, it's not going to make it real.
It's like Candyman.
Titanfall 3 ain't going to happen.
No, it's
not Candyman, is it?
But yeah, I mean, Andy, what are your thoughts? Because I know we're kind of still clinging on to that hope that Star Wars stuff can be good, right?
Cautiously optimistic. It'll be interesting to see what comes out the back of it. It's got a good pedigree behind it, but I don't think Amy Hennig's release had a game launch since Uncharted 3.
Very fair point.
Because obviously she was removed from Uncharted 4, as has recently come out in an interview with Nolan North. Basically said that she was removed from the project and it was rewritten from the ground up, and completely recast and all of that stuff. So, I mean, that's a good distance between projects actually launching. Obviously she's pretty good with, from a narrative perspective, she's got a good pedigree. So I think cautiously optimistic. It will be interesting to see, because effectively we've got two narrative Star Wars games coming out now, haven't we? Because we've got one coming from Quantic Dream as well, haven't we?
Yep. I don't know how many games there are actually in development for Star Wars, because I think there's the Quantic Dream one, there's Fallen Order 2.
Yeah.
Which has not yet officially been announced. Or has it?
I don't know.
I can't remember. And then there's this. And then I wonder if it's potentially getting maybe a little bit oversaturated if they're all similar games.
I guess it depends. How? Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, how much freedom do you reckon Disney are actually gonna give her? Like they're pretty controlling with their stuff, Marvel and obviously Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was that whole argument with Battlefront 2, wasn't there, about all the cosmetics that they wanted to put into Battlefront 2, and then Disney went, "No, you're not having a pink Darth Vader." And that's where the loot box shit came from.
But in the same sort of vein of that, though, is the fact that they do control a lot of the stuff around that and around the narrative. It keeps it consistent, but there's also a degree of kind of creative license. I think that's more so now, and I think more so with the Marvel stuff. But when you look at some of the shows that they've been putting out on Disney Plus and the fact that Fallen Order felt kind of like its own thing, but also did honor like the stories that had come before. I played Fallen Order at the same time as I was watching the Clone Wars TV series, and did lots of Leonardo DiCaprio moments. As stuff came up in Fallen Order, I was like, yeah, know that, Dathomir, awesome. Night Sisters, brilliant. So it's it'd be interesting to see how much creative freedom she is or isn't given, or any of the writers on these titles.
Yeah,
the narrative ones.
I mean, you sort of look at some of the games that were scheduled to come out. I mean, obviously there was the whole saga with 1313 when that got revealed and kind of or leaked, and then everyone kind of lost their minds over it, and then that's disappeared now because Disney have bought Star Wars, and then there was obviously Hennig's previous game of Ragtag that was kind of focused on a bounty hunter, not a bounty hunter, sorry, a smuggler, like a Han Solo figure that got nuked. So gonna be an interesting one. I think one to keep an eye on, but I think Aaron's got the right idea of potentially not being too hyped just yet until we actually see something from it. Cool. Right. Next piece of news that we've got is about that quirky little handheld, the Playdate. Well, it's got a crank on it.
A little crank.
I nearly ordered one of these, but then I didn't, because I was like, I need to stop buying things on impulse.
Yeah.
And I then subsequently bought a lot more things on impulse, but I didn't buy this.
Looking at your DeLorean now.
Yeah, that wasn't impulse. That's a must buy. It's the law. But yeah, so like the Playdate came out. I think if you are to pre-order one now, you're looking at not getting it until next year, sort of this time next year. The reviews are out, and it seems to be kind of okay, I guess. I mean, first off, has anyone actually ordered one? Aaron's reaction was perfect.
Oh no. Are you shitting me?
I mean, like, go on, Aaron. Let's hear your thoughts on the Playdate and where you would like where would you land on it if you were to sort of look at potentially getting one?
I think it's too expensive. Number one.
Yep.
I think it's far too close to the lower model of Switch to draw anybody who's really serious about gaming away from it. Number two is, if the company are they creating the little games that come with it over 24 weeks? Is it?
No,
12 weeks?
So they've got they create the platform, and then they've given, I think, if I remember rightly, I think Lucas Pope's new game is on the Playdate. Guy behind Papers, Please, I want to say, like Obra Dinn. So they've got some pedigree with the people that are making games for it, but like the games are not developed in house. They're kind of from other people, and then they're also releasing a an SDK as well, so people can make their own games for it further down the
So
line.
there's no bigger indie studios or whatever attached to this in any way. So it's all just raw, complete indie startup, potentially, or passion project kind of stuff. So if anybody stops caring about this thing, you've basically got what was it, $180? I don't know what that is in pounds. You've basically got this quite expensive paperweight just kind of burning a hole in your pocket. Those are my two issues with this. Other than that, I mean, it looks like a cool little device. I mean, like, if the games are fun, that's all that really matters, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of it's a cool toy. It's a cool toy.
The whole season-based content is weird.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but I'm just reading now, for example, that obviously season 1, you get 24 games delivered over a 12-week period.
Yep.
Now that starts from when you first turn the console on. So it's not like if you buy the console after season 1, you'll get, or you know, sort of 6 weeks into season 1, you'll get the first 6 weeks of content. You will get 2 games for the first week that you own your console.
Oh.
And that will be it. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And then the week after that, you get the next 2 games. So your mate who's had it for 6 weeks probably has more games than you.
Yeah.
So they drip feed onto the machine every week after you've turned it on for the first time.
I kind of like that as a concept, but
I like it as a concept, but is it $180 worth of concept?
Yeah, I mean,
it seems, dare I say it, a little bit hipster.
Yes. I mean, I like that idea. I do like the idea that if you get a system, you get access to, you know, all of the games that come on it. And I think if you, like, if, for example, if, say, me and you bought one and they arrived on the same day, we would be able to, like, oh, it's new game day, like, kind of open it up and download them and go, like, this is cool, and then play it for a bit, and then, you know, we can have a discussion about it. I think the whole thing about it starting when you turn the system on, like, again, I kind of like that idea, but it seems very flawed. Like, that whole thing of, like, you know, if these things were, if they'd been able to make enough of them to fill all of their pre-orders, and if they were able to get them out to everybody on the same day, then that's quite cool. But I think some of the reviews sort of state that the second week, or one of the games in the second week, is kind of like a music sequencer or like a synthesizer type thing. So it's not necessarily a game, and there'll be a lot of people that kind of download it and think, "The fuck is this?" and like not actually bother playing it.
If you were gonna do it, you might as well just go all full hog, right? And make sure everybody's actually playing. You're playing one title on that game release day, and everybody has to play that one title.
Yeah.
So you have this kind of interesting social, like potentially like Wordle kind of situation going on, where everybody's having this, you know. But because I could be 4 weeks behind you.
Yeah.
Like there's no like the whole nuance of it, the little the hook of it is kind of wasted. It's
yeah. I mean, I like the idea of getting, like I said, having essentially a little device, and it says, right, with this you get 24 games, and you'll get them over a period of time. It's like, cool. But I don't really like the idea of kind of, you know, it. For example, if, again, going back to an example, if we'd bought them, so if I'd bought mine and Andy had pre-ordered his, if we pre-ordered, say, 5 minutes apart, there could be a 2-month gap between when he gets his and when I get mine. So it could be that, like, yeah, there was only 5 minutes between us, but like we're now looking at, I can't play the same games that you're playing for another 2 months. It's like that seems a bit.
It's weird, and I actually didn't realize that until I'd read it just now. That's the way it works. So I can only assume that they're all pre-installed on the system in the box, and they're just arbitrarily unlocked a certain amount of time after you activate the system.
Possibly
it's
so.
a cute little thing, but And it'd look nice on a coffee table.
Yeah.
People come around and go, "Oh, what's that? Is that a Game Boy?" Well, actually, I think you'll find.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's nothing drawing me to it.
Yeah, it's
I
such
think
a strange one.
Its best hope is to have like a Dreamcast kind of situation where people are able to just load whatever creations they've made onto it at any point.
Yeah.
And
So
just have fun with it.
You are able to sideload like user created stuff onto it if you.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah. So if you have an interest in development and you think, oh, okay, this would be quite a cool game to develop and like have a use for the crank, you'd be able to use that.
Oh, that's quite cool. That is quite cool.
But I think that's where it's heading. I think that's its main.
I mean, like, you're talking what, 12 weeks time? Like when the first people have had them through, 12 weeks time, they're going to have all 24 games, and they'll be like, done. Just put it down, like unless you have, like you say, that kind of community that's fostered around it, and I like the tech in it. Like I'm a sucker for new techie gadgets, and like kind of I like the fact that it's got that almost like e-ink screen. So yes, you have to play it in a well-lit environment.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that you can do that, and it's almost like a
It's
Kindle.
like a kind of a Kindle screen,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Oh, don't say the thing at the same time as me.
Yeah. So I don't know. It seems all right, but
yeah,
as you say, I think possibly not 160 quid worth of all right.
It's way too expensive.
Yeah. And
I almost got an Amiga 500 Mini at the weekend, but that was 115 quid, and that was too expensive for me at the time.
Yeah, and you can actually like legally put all of the ROMs on that, can't you?
You can. Well, you can load them on there, whether you've legally acquired them or not. But considering pretty much every Amiga title's abandonware now, I don't,
I mean,
I'm not sure.
Every Amiga title would fit onto like, I don't know, like every single Amiga title ever would probably fit onto a floppy disk.
You literally, from what I've gathered, sorry, sidelining slightly, you literally just bang them on a USB stick, stick it in the back and turn it on, and they're there.
Nice.
And that's it. And you can play Lemmings.
The finest. Only the finest.
Only the finest.
So, yeah, crazy.
We started on Amiga games.
Crazy little device, but probably not one that we're gonna invest in.
No.
Which is a shame because, like, it's almost one of those things you get where you go, oh, I'll wait for a sale on it, but when they're taking pre-orders that are only going to be shipped this time next year, it's probably not going to be on sale for a very long time. Yeah. But you did allude to it.
I'll tell you what else is crazy.
Hey.
Tell you what else is crazy.
I was going to say, Aaron did allude to it a little bit earlier. We're going to talk about 2 more games from Sega. Sega are apparently working on some big budget reboots of Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio. It's site source. The article on VGC says Bloomberg site sources which claim that the 2 reboots will be the first titles in Sega's Super Game Initiative, a 5-year strategy involving what Executive VP Shuji Utsumi has previously called the development of AAA titles that cross over Sega's comprehensive range of technologies. Does that scream mobile game?
When he talked about super games, wasn't that in the same bit that he was talking about NFTs?
Probably. But anyway.
So, for Crazy Taxi, do you have to buy the premium Super Deluxe Musical Special Edition if you want the Offspring?
Yeah. I don't care. Like as long as Crazy Taxi has All I Want by the Offspring in it, then it's close enough for me.
I can't even remember what other songs were on the soundtrack to that game. That's the only song, literally the only song. I turned on the 360 version of that a few weeks back to show my kids, and I turned it off immediately in disgust and uninstalled it because it didn't have the proper soundtrack.
I mean, Aaron, you sort of said earlier that that they're potentially focusing on like this free to play thing. What are your thoughts on Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio? Do you have fond memories of the originals?
Oh. When you said this and I opened it, I was like, "Fuck yes!"
Yeah, there we
Jet
go.
Set Radio. Jet Set Radio is the most amazing game, and I don't know why they take so long to. Do you know what? Sega, give it to me. But then I scrolled down, and I saw talk of free-to-play NFTs and events to encourage spending of microtransactions. And I was like, "Oh, why are you doing this? Like, what's going on? Just give me a good Jet Set Radio. These are classic titles. Release them, just like Sonic. Release them, and people will buy them.
Yep.
Like you can even stream a bunch of DLC. That's completely fine. But I don't know how they're gonna do the NFT thing with Crazy Taxi. Actually, I can kind of foresee because they had a lot of like real world advertisements in that game, didn't it? Like fast food,
Pizza Hut,
fast food places. You can see where they might potentially go with that in terms of like NFTs and whatnot. But in terms of Jet Set Radio, how are you gonna microtransaction that game up? I don't really understand without ruining the core experience.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen. It's just Sega,
can we refer back to the previous discussion about Sonic? That's how you screw it up.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, go on.
Yeah, just as you say, give me a reboot of Crazy Taxi, give me a reboot of Jet Set Radio, because I think possibly the closest thing we've got to anything remotely like Jet Set Radio in the past few years was Sunset Overdrive, wasn't it? I think that was almost Jet Set Radio.
Yeah,
like kind of a lot of the traversal and stuff like that felt similar, but it just left you having that itch a little bit more still. Yeah, I hope they don't fuck it.
Oh, they definitely will.
And let me refer you back to the discussion we've had on Sonic.
The other thing is that both these games have great soundtracks. These things are definitely going to get sold separately. Like, they're just going to murder. They're going to gut these games. They're not. Well, I'm assuming that the new versions will also have great soundtracks. But if they do, they're just going to you're going to have to pay for each individual track, probably. Like, it's going to be a mess.
You can. I bet what they're probably going to do is I go, right, here's the soundtrack for Crazy Taxi. There is a DLC option, but if you want All I Want by The Offspring, that DLC is £10
for the one song.
For the one song, yep, that's what they'll do because they know that's what everybody wants.
Because they know Benjamin Ward.
Yeah.
Will go and pay the money.
I mean, let's be honest. If you're a lawyer for The Offspring at this point, they're seeing this news and they're seeing the fervour around it and going, right, boys, gonna get paid. Like, oh man, just don't screw it up, please. But again, refer back to the previous conversation about Sonic.
Yep.
You excited, Andy?
NFTs, baby.
Oh.
I hope Crazy Taxi's good. I honestly don't have. I never played Jet Set Radio. I played it in its kind of re-released versions, but I probably doesn't hold the same kind of nostalgia factor for me because it was on formats that I never really had at the time. But Crazy Taxi I played in the arcades, and I always would happily chuck a 50p into a Crazy Taxi machine to see how far I could get. But yeah, Jet Set Radio, the idea of it is pretty cool, and I would definitely be interested in that, but I don't have any strong opinions on it as a game.
So you think Wind Waker's the best Zelda, and you haven't played Jet Set Radio? Great.
You guys are going to fall out.
I was too busy playing PC games when Jet Set Radio was out. So I was a PC gamer. Yep. Sorry. Played Metal Gear Solid for the first time on a PC, so that probably says a lot about me. I never played it on PlayStation. I played the PC version.
You know you can do both, right?
Yeah, I do now. Back then, until I got my PS2, I was PC gaming all the way.
Fair enough.
But moving on from that, because we've got a couple more smaller stories.
Never smaller though, are they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like the
We still
first
waffle
one.
about them.
The first one that we will talk about very briefly because it has actually happened as we've been recording. Saints Row has had
Breaking news.
Yeah, Saints Row has had a customization live stream. So basically, kind of looking at the obviously the customization of characters and things like that. I'm just having a quick look through a few bits on the internet to see what it's like. I mean, my understanding is it's kind of potentially bringing back some of the crazy, which a lot of people were disappointed at kind of being missed out of the original trailer. I mean, like, I'm just looking at a screenshot now. There are some boots that have toes that kind of point straight up for about 3 feet in the air. So yeah, it looks like they've brought back the mental crazy stuff. I'll probably put the trailer, some of the trailer in the video as well. But yeah, I mean, some of the comments I'm seeing here, it says, "Hey, it turns out this looks like a Saints Row game," which people didn't think of the original game. So intrigued by this.
Can I hit people with a big purple dong?
Probably not, but you'll be able to hit people with other dong-shaped things, I would imagine.
Okay.
Aaron, are you a Saints Row man?
Played them. I wouldn't call myself a Saints Row man. It's one of those middling kind of games that kind of just fill up space between the games you're actually excited about. For me, it always struck me as like it is really just a more budget, over the top GTA. And when I have GTA, why do I need Saints Row? Not that they're bad games, by the way. Just throwing that out there before anybody attacks me. Just, I'm not like a super fan or anything. You know, they're okay games.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've reviewed Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4 for the site, and Saints Row. No, I can't remember which one it was, but it started with you as the president riding a nuke into the top of the White House. That was 4, yes. Oh yeah, because 3 started with the bank heist, didn't it?
Yes.
And I've played through that bank heist. I played through that bank heist more times than I would care to play again, because I captured so much of it for like performance videos and stuff like that. I was just like, Jesus Christ, I never want to do it again.
That was the remasters, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, I couldn't remember us doing performance videos when Saints Row 3 first came out.
Yeah,
I was like,
so they did the remasters.
That was many years ago.
Yeah. But no, I like the kind of, they leave your brain at the door, over the top. I don't like the term, but zany open world games. I'll play a new Saints Row, and I think the fact that, you know, this seems to be a new Saints Row, I'll give it a go for sure, because it's damn good fun. I like that they kind of, with Saints Row 3, they kind of had that hard left turn into just utter nonsense after trying to ape Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto for 2 games, and kind of
that was a real left turn when they went from trying to ape Gran Turismo and
but like, you know,
made an open world crime game.
They were trying to be that Grand Theft Auto. I did it again. They tried to do that Grand Theft Auto thing for 2 games. Didn't quite work out. They didn't quite get the serious tone, and then just went, fuck it, let's just go mental.
I really liked Saints Row 3 because it's just silly. It was like National Lampoon does Grand Theft Auto.
Yep.
But I've got to admit, I'm not a fan of 4 and Get Out of Hell, because I think they went too far with it. I think they kind of, the superpower stuff was kind of like trying to do the whole, oh god, what was the
Crackdown?
Infamous. There was Infamous, there was Crackdown, there was the other one as well.
Prototype,
where you were like infected. Prototype, that was it. Yeah. And it kind of felt like they were trying to sort of do those sort of games, but it's I wasn't that keen on those 2, but 3 I really enjoyed. And if it can hew a bit closer to 3 and just be bloody daft, I'll be well up for that.
Cool. Well, that is coming soon, I think. I'm not sure there's a full release date for that confirmed just yet. Oh, sorry, yes, there is. August.
They should give us another fucking Crackdown, by the way. That was an amazing game. Just a random tangent. Go on.
August 23rd is Saints Row's release date, so not too far away. Not too far away. So I think we'll pick that up and have a good old look at it. And finally, to wrap up, we've got some new games to try out if you are an Xbox Game Pass subscriber. I think one of these kind of we've talked about briefly already. I think it was originally on the list, and then they put it back a little bit. But coming to the console, so cloud console and PC, we have 7 Days to Die, Bugsnax, the PS5 launch exclusive that is.
And if you haven't got the theme tune stuck in your head, there's something wrong with you.
There was a point around the PS5's launch where that song played over and over in my head non-stop because I tried to get through as much of that game as I could before launch, and it just bounced around my head. But yeah, Bugsnax and the Island of Bugsnax, Island of Big Snacks, sorry, DLC is coming to Game Pass, which I believe is free DLC on the PS5 as well. Research and Destroy, which I don't know too much about that one. Unsold, which
looks like an Andy game.
Yeah, definitely looks like an Andy game. And quite possibly the best game title of the year so far, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion.
Never even heard of it.
I've got to play it just to see what it is.
Well,
about.
apparently it's only like 2 hours to beat it. So
that sounds like one Kieran can do for his new videos that he's doing for a YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
Which you can go and watch now.
Yeah. So Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. I'll play it just for the name because like it's on Game Pass. I'll pick it up. I'll play it. It's like 2 hours worth of fun. If it's
a big assumption.
Well, if it's no good, then it's not costing me anything extra. But I did want to pick. I mean, first off, is there anything that we're going to pick up on here, Andy? You gonna give any of these a go?
I'll look at Unsold because it looks like my kind of game. I've already played Bugsnax on PlayStation. 7 Days to Die doesn't really interest me because I don't have any friends, so that kind of co-op shooter thing isn't really for me. Research and Destroy, dunno, looks intriguing. Turnip Boy, yeah, I've got to give it a go because like you say, based on the name alone, it's either going to be amazing or it's going to be terrible.
What about you, Aaron? You got your eye on any?
I have not played Bugsnax, so because everybody thinks it's an amazing game, I haven't heard anything bad about it. That's probably the one, the standout one. I don't actually know what the other one. 7 Days to Die, I'm not interested in. But the other two, I don't know what they actually are. I have to look at it. But any free game is good by me, so probably try them all.
Absolutely. So the one thing I will say about Bugsnax is that game gets fucking dark.
Really?
Yeah, man. It starts off as like, oh look, this strawberry's got legs, and by the end of it, you're going, I want my mum. This is quite creepy. But I want to say this before we sort of wrap up. I reviewed 7 Days to Die when it launched in very, very large inverted commas on the PS4. That game was an early access game that was being marketed as a full, complete title. And when it came out, it was so fucking bad that I never want to see that game ever again in my life. And I think I gave it 2 out of 10, and that was because it booted. Like
strong.
Like I'd structured the review in the way of like kind of 7 days with 7 Days to Die, and it was like day one.
Oh, I remember that now.
Yeah,
yes,
and
I
like,
remember proofreading that for you.
I put like day 4. oh, the game suddenly clicks, everything's great, I'm playing it with friends, everyone's having a really good time. Day 5, realise I spent day 4 playing Rainbow Six Siege. Like, it was so fucking bad and so broken. So I'm almost tempted to play it again and see if it's gotten any better, because...
Why are you like this?
I don't know. But, like, it...
What?
Like, just to see if it's still as bad. Like,
I hated this game. I'm going to play it again, mate.
Well, it was what, 6 years ago, 5 years ago. But yeah,
I mean, if you can do that for 7 Days to Die, you can do it for Bloodborne. Quite frankly,
no, because I never thought Bloodborne was objectively bad. It's just not my kind of game. That was an objectively bad game. But anyway, yeah, that's 7 Days to Die. Don't play it unless they fixed a lot of shit with it. It actually tanked our relationship with the publisher at the time because my review was that savage. Anyway, right.
Shouldn't be publishing shit games then, should they?
Well, no, exactly. Still, that publisher's gone under. Anyway, right. Let's.
This is about to get
So who's winning now? So that is going to do us for episode 201 of the Next Gen Basecast. As ever, thank you for joining me, Mr. Aaron Sullivan.
Not a problem. Pleasure to be here, sir.
And thank you for joining me, Mr. Andy Beacon.
Mezzin.
As Andy alluded to, we do have a brand new series up on the YouTubes at the moment, which Kieran has put an awful lot of effort into. I believe the latest episode is going live tomorrow as we record, so it will have been out yesterday as you're listening to this podcast. It's all about shorter games, and it's called Something for the Weekend. So if you're struggling, you're just thinking, oh, I've not got that much time this weekend, but I want to play something, get it checked out, because he's got some good little tips on there, good little good games to check out over a weekend.
Indeed.
In addition, get subscribed to the YouTube channel, get subscribed to the podcast, tell a friend, share us about on the socials, at social media, on Twitter we're Next Gen Base, Facebook we are Next Gen Base, Instagram we are Next Gen Base _ and I believe Nico is kind of jumping back onto the Instagram stuff soon because he's got other things to plan for at the moment, namely a rather large party in a few weeks' time for, I think he got married or something, I don't know. But yeah, that's going to do us. Take care, guys, and we will see you hopefully next week.
Hopefully. Yeah, we're going to try and get a bit more regular. We've had bank holidays and stuff in the UK, which does knacker our ability to do stuff like this. So
Indeed. We're going to get some videos done, basically, long and short of it. Okay. Bye.
Bye.